How's it going, everybody? It's me, the Wombat. Anyways, I had a lot of things going on yesterday. That was Thanksgiving. I wanted to go down memory lane and talk to you guys about some of the Thanksgiving crafts. I know it's the day after Thanksgiving, but we'll still talk about it anyways. Did you guys have to do those silly crafts in school where you made the vest out of like a brown paper sack you get from the grocery store? The stores only give plastic bags now, but they used to give paper sacks, and you have to cut fringes on them, and it looked more like a hippie vest rather than an actual Native American vest, and some of the crafts were fun. Usually had it's mostly predominantly white ladies that taught the schools I went to down here in Southern California, and they always seemed to group Indians in like one category. It wasn't until later that I learned there's all these different tribes, but we learned that the Indians were a very peaceful people, and we learned how the Pilgrims helped out the Indians, and in return, the Indians showed people how to plant food with a dead fish and seeds. And then they had a bountiful harvest, and they all got together and had a big party. And then we also learned later on about missions how the mostly the Spaniards came in and they taught those poor natives how to read and write and take care of themselves. But now we know that wasn't exactly the true story or the whole story, and some of us have heard many, many stories about it. But enough about that. I want to talk mostly about the Thanksgiving crafts. The number one craft that we learn how to make, usually kindergarten, sometimes preschool, is you take a piece of white paper, so there's nothing on it, and you take your number two pencil. Usually they give you the big, fat, chubby pencils. It's like holding a small tree. I got a Sharpie because I'm an adult. Believe it or not, I'm an adult. So I've got my Sharpie, and if you guys know anything, and I'm just looking at my hand so I don't write all over it. It's drawn. And you'll know exactly what this is. It's a hand. Isn't it handy? It's not any ordinary hand. At Thanksgiving time, you have the children draw around their hand, and then you add an eye, a beak, and I don't know if they really have a comb or not, but you make it so it looks like it's a bird. And those are the feathers. And usually what we do, either you have a choice of crayons, you could color them in, or the teacher ahead of time would cut out different colors of construction paper like feathers, and you would secure the feathers like so. And we have our paste. Sorry. We have our paste, like I was saying. We also have a stapler. We can staple this on. We could use tape. We could color, or we could use paste. Decisions. Paste has always been my favorite, though. Yeah, let's color it in. That paste is fresh. And you always used different colors. It didn't matter what color. There's no rhyme and reason because you're a kid. And it's all about using your imagination, right? I'm like something like that. Stay within the lines. And then they always had, it seemed like they like to divide the groups into like two different teams, so if you will. And what they would do, sorry if the stapler's kind of loud there, is they'd staple construction paper together, and I don't have any construction paper. I didn't have a chance to get any. And they would staple this together like so. And my head's kind of big. I actually need another piece. Another piece of paper. And then and I know I'm not doing this right because I should have black construction paper, but I don't. But you'll see exactly what I'm doing here. I'll just make it quick because I know we're short on time. You can share these with your kids for next Thanksgiving. This is the day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday art show. But then you'd always have them wear a hat. You always had to have a giant buckle right in the middle of them. Usually the buckle's out of another piece of construction paper, sometimes ribbon. Or they'd have a big tall hat that had this, usually had a real wide brim. And some of the class were pilgrims. I always wanted to be an Indian. I was always told I'm too white to be an Indian. I'm like, I was disappointed actually. It was like, I've had lots of friends who are Native American and they're very kind. But they had a worse immigration problem than we do now, let me tell you. Another thing we do is we get the paste and paste our feather on here, but that paste, we're not gonna let that paste go to waste. And then you'd have, should have cut this into thirds actually. And then some of the kids would get to do this. You see, it's feathers stand up on there. Look at me. I'm Elizabeth Warren with my headdress on. Pocahontas. Anyways, like I said, there's just a couple ideas for crafts that you can work on with your kids. And then Christmas time, you get the crepe paper construction paper, and you can make the loops to make the rings for your Christmas tree as long as you have enough pay. Why? I promised. Oh man, I promised I wasn't gonna do this. It's just so good. That's good paste. I'm sorry, guys. I can't help it. I can't turn this off. I can't do this anymore.